Well, it looks like I got the four-wheel drive working in the Silverado just in time. I fixed it just in time for this thing to have a hiccup. It was a pretty bad hiccup too. It hiccuped that thing, which if take a pretty good close look. Well, this one's actually the worse one. Hang on. It ain't no good. And then when we were loading it on the trailer, I broke that axle shaft. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, that little hole you see light through, there used to be a U-joint in there. Oh well, back to it. Well, the drive shaft mission is on hold. And the reason why is whenever I took it out, well, actually I didn't take it out, it fell out. But I realized the reason it fell out was there was a dent in it. And with a dent in it, it's never going to be right. And the fact it's never going to be right, no sense in putting it back in until I get a new one. So I dropped it off at the local drive shaft shop. They're going to fix it up. But in the meantime, I'm going to take care of problem number 2 that keeps this thing from being a roller. And that is, maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. You can't really see it, but that axle shaft is busted. So I got my new one here. This is a Dodge W150. I got this axle at the scrapyard. Believe it or not, you can still buy these axles. You just got to kind of piece them together. I can get that end off Rock Auto, this end off AutoZone, and slap it all back together. But we're going to that one's out of a salvage yard. I did replace the U-joint in it because you should. I mean, it doesn't cost that much and doesn't take that much time. But this way, like, let's put it this way, I bought the whole axle cheaper than I could have bought just those pieces, not counting the U-joint. But what I'd like to go over is W150 style hub removal. Hub in front. We'll go a little further, we'll go to the whole axle remover, but the main thing most of you are going to get out of this is how to remove and replace this hub. So let's go ahead. The first part is to go ahead and we'll put that in the free position. We'll go ahead and take these Allen heads out and remove this tire. You won't have to do that. Actually, we'll remove the tire after a little bit because I'll show you how to take the hub out without removing the tire. Because honestly, I'd like to get a set of chromoly axle shafts, even though they don't make them for the W150. I know everybody's gonna say you should upgrade to a W160. I will. It ain't in the budget right now, and these tires are damn near new. So whenever I do get a little bit of budget, I'll upgrade to a W160. And until then, because I'll need wheels and everything. Until then, we're gonna run this truck as is and continue to break stuff in the name of fun. All right, let's get to it. Alright, we got all the bolts loose, and all I do is sometimes you can just wiggle it, but if not, take a dead blow, and there it pops off. Alright, now all that in there, oops, drop something here, hold on. All that in there looks kind of intimidating, but trust me, it's not really that bad. You just got basically an inner and an outer snap ring. So for the inner snap ring, so I'm grabbing my tools. You're going to want a set of snap ring pliers. And then all you got to do is look around. Mine's right on top. Find the 2 holes. I'm trying to do this without bumping the camera. There we go. Oh, almost got it. Oh, there we go. There's that snap ring. And then there's an outer snap ring, which is basically like a wire. And what you gotta do is find the end of it. Trying to do this without bumping the camera is a little difficult. There it is. Yep. I don't know if you can see that real. Let me get a light real quick. Right in there, you can wait. Right in there, you can see where that black piece of wire comes down and then stops. What you want to do is you're going to want to get yourself a pick of some sort. Actually, that light helped me out a lot. Get yourself a pick of some sort. Get up in there and just pop that. There we go. Right out like that. It just sits in a little, oops, sorry, blind the camera. It just sits in a little groove right in there. And you're pretty well good to go. Now, here is where I'll take 2 bolts that are in the hub. 2 of those Allen heads you just loosened up. I'll put them in. Just a couple threads, that's all you need. If your hub is fresh and nicely greased, it should. Oh, there it goes. There's the whole kit and caboodle. Right out. And now you're down to the axle nuts. So, for the sake of sakes, and because I got to take the spindle off anyway to get the axle shaft out, I'm going to go ahead and buzz this tire off camera and get it out of the way. And we'll go over disassembly of the wheel bearing nuts. You need a special socket for that, and go from there. Alright, now I got that tire out of the way. You need a special socket. It's got those 4 little points on it, and what it does is it reaches on up in there, and there's a lock nut that has 4 locks on it, like that. Now the best way I found to take this off is with a gun. And all you're going to do is go in. Now this is only for removal, I don't put them back on. But anyways, there's the lock nut. Okay, and then inside is a washer. Sorry, I haven't really rehearsed a ton of this, so I mean it's not like it's already loose. I was driving this thing the other day. There's your locking nut with the keyway. That's all it's got. It's got a little key on it. I don't know if you can see it. That goes up on top. The spindle, you'll see that when I get the spindle off. And then you can take this nut off. There's an inner nut too. Dang it. Didn't stay in the socket. Oh, there's the inner one. No different than the outer one. They're interchangeable as far as I can tell. And what I forgot to do, take caliper off. So on my Dodge, you gotta take this nut off. Sorry. This nut up here, and this nut off, and then that whole sucker comes off. So let's go ahead and do that. Your vehicle may vary. Okay, there's that. Take our caliper, stack it back there, so it's up and out of the way. And now we can dump back here like this. Very carefully slide the whole hub assembly off. And there you go. Still set it down. Nice and pretty like. And now we'll take the spindle off, which is right here. And I believe those are 9/16. They're 9/16 or half, depending on how much it rusted, I think. Must be 9/16 here. Yep, there we go. And if you haven't already put on some gloves, I highly recommend it. Me, I'm just gonna get dirty because I ain't got time for any of that. But we just buzz these off. One stuck in there. Alright, very carefully remove this with all your washers. I wiggle it a little bit to get the washers all broked up. Alright, let's take this off. There's that. Believe it or not, most likely yours will not come apart that easy. I'm going to tell you this right now. If it's been on there more than a day, you might have a fight in your hands. But luckily, I've messed mine up more than once. Here's broken axle piece number 1. Which can get interesting if it grenaded too bad. You can see it's nothing left of that one. And then here comes the inner one. Which it looks like there's no way me and the Heaven Almighty are going to make it fit it out of that hole. Looks like this will be a job for the torch. But there you go. I'll torch that puppy out of there a little bit. There went a, what you call it? And doesn't look like there's any other damage. But once I get this axle shaft tore off, I'll come back and we'll go over putting the new one in. Okie dokie. Smokey. Got it. Get it, got it good. Sometimes you can forget to remember stuff, and that's what I did here. Yeah, you gotta take this caliper bracket off because the axle shaft isn't gonna fit out of the caliper bracket by itself. Know what I mean? So, yeah, you gotta do that too. Don't forget. Okay, rock and rolling. Bump the camera. Alright, now. Sorry. I did my homework right. Well, we got the right axle shafts, which it's always a possibility with a junkyard unit you didn't get the right one, but it looks about right, smells about right, tastes about right. Come on, get it up. Tricky part is, oh, hold on, might need a pry bar a little bit. Figure out how I want to pry on it. There we go. Get it slid in there, and then, aha! grease fitting's killing me. This U-joint's got one of them little screw-in grease fittings. Yeah. There we go. Oop. Sorry, my other ones were a little better than this. Reuse these axle seals from the old one just because they seem to be a little bit better shape. Know what I mean? I know, I could, if I really want to do this right, I would go get new ones, but let's face it, this is a wood truck. Sometimes good enough is good enough, you know what I mean? But yeah, alright, there's that axle shaft in. It's splined in pretty good. Feels like it anyway. Oh wait, that this whole thing is sealed. Now look at that. Yeah, that whole thing's a seal. Dang it. Alright, I gotta take that seal off, but you get the idea at this point. Alright, now most of the rest of this is just gonna be reversing the order of everything we took off. Starting with this guy, who's gonna go on here and hold this sucker straight. Supposedly. Maybe. Yep. And then you got, where's my beaten stick? Beater stick! Where did I set you? Over there. Okay. Alright. Where did that dust guard go? Dust guard. Dust guard. Goes on. Fancy washers. And fancy nuts. Now these nuts, you're going to want to take a look at them. See how it's convex, like rounded at the top and flat in the bottom? Flat side goes in. Always, always. Unless it's some sort of self-centering nut, like a lug nut. These are not self-centering. They're not any centering. They're not even casually centered. Alright, let's buzz them suckers on there. Puppies, suckies, them things. Them dooley-doos to fit the widgets. What do I do with that socket? Oh, there it is. It's on the end of this. What is it? You don't need to destroy them, but you want them on there pretty good. Because this is where all the weight on this side front axle sits. Because believe it or not, all full float, all front axles that are solid axles are full float. Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to steer. Alright. Now you're going to want to be, for the most part, careful here. There is a seal on the back side of this. You don't really want to mess up unless you're already looking to change it. I'm not, so there's that. But for right now, what I usually do is I just take the first nut and for these purposes I take the socket. Once you get it started on, all I'm going to do is spin it kind of hand tight for now, because we're going to have to set the torque. I got an old school method of doing it that an old timer showed me once that I've used ever since. It seems to work good. Also, you could repack your wheel bearings at this time. I don't put very many miles in this truck. Actually, I've changed this axle shaft probably twice in 1,000 miles. Just not saying that I really beat it up, but this just seems to be a vulnerable point. And it is an off-road vehicle. Probably should bend that out just a little bit. It'll be alright. It'll self-clear. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and throw the caliper back on and the caliper bracket. And I like to throw the tire back on, and then I'll go over how I set my wheel bearing torque. Old school method. Non-scientific, try it at your own risk. Okay. Oop, didn't want to throw that away. Alright.